everyone. Lauren Culp here, publisher and CEO at CUInsight.com, and I am bringing you a 3 questions video interview with a very special guest today. Super excited to have Blake Woods, the Senior Advisor of Credit Unions at TransUnion, on with us. We're going to be talking about a lot of really exciting stuff, credit union difference, serving underserved consumers. So I want to just jump right in. Blake, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Yeah, good to see you again, Lauren.
Yeah, you too. Well, tell me a little bit about, as you're seeing it right now, how are credit unions really able to expand the credit union difference across some digital channels?
Yes, and I will plug CUInsight here. I recently wrote an article about this. So if you want the longer version of my thoughts, feel free to check out that article. But one thing we were looking at was consumer satisfaction scores by lender type. And noticed during the pandemic that credit unions started to lose ground that they had for decades over top of banks and other types of lenders. And I think there's a number of reasons for that, right? Staffing probably being chief among them. But I also have this hypothesis that I talk about in the article that as branch service was interrupted or in some cases closed for months on end, a lot of our consumers, a lot of our members got more used to using those digital channels. And while most credit unions these days do have online banking and allow credit unions to be transactional, what was missing, I think, and that's made credit unions great over the years, is that financial counseling or that kind of intimate relationship that existed between credit union branch staff and their members. I know when we went through a merger, I used to always say, I don't think we would have survived without the relationships that our branch staff had with the members, right? They knew their financial history, they understood the dynamics within the household, and they were able to make those recommendations to help people get back on their feet or get to that next product. And that's just missing, I think, with a lot of the transactional tools today. So, I gave some thoughts in the article of how credit unions could improve that. One example, it's actually a firm out here in Michigan, kind of close to where I'm sitting right now. GreenPath has this new virtual financial coach. And again, just with a few, it's like a chat bot, but this is not somewhere you're going to go to reset your online banking password. But what they are going to do is, take a look at your credit data and give you a few actionable steps or different goals that you should set to help improve financial health. And I think the more, again, if our consumers have shifted to a more digital banking type relationship with their credit union, we've got to find a way to get that credit union difference into those digital channels. So I thought the GreenPath example is a good one, but surely there's a lot of opportunity across financial services to do just that.
Incredible. Well, and your article is so great. We will link to it in the post here for anybody who wants an easy link to it. I'm curious from your perspective, from TransUnion's perspective, how can TransUnion really help credit unions serve some of those underserved consumers? I know there's a lot of cool work you guys are doing.
Definitely. And I think like the first easy step that a lot of credit unions can take, when I look at the credit unions that we serve today, many of them are using credit data or score algorithms, Lauren, that probably have similar birth years to you and I, and probably closer to mine. I think I'm a little older than you are. And that's great. Like, I think those scores still do a good job at what they were developed to do, but there's a lot more data now than there was, 20, 30 years ago. And I think all of us have maybe been on some of those credit health sites, and we see how like a single event in our financial lives, paying off a loan or some things that even seem like they would be positive events can really impact your score. And I think the big idea that we've been trying to socialize over the past couple of years is the use of trended data, which again isn't looking at like just a single point in time, here's what your credit health is, but kind of looking at 30 months of data, and it normalizes for some of those events. And I did an analysis and it kind of went state by state, and we found that pretty much every state here in the US can score about 15 to 20% more consumers just by using what we would call like a modern or a trended data score. So that's 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 6 applicants that come to your credit union today that are, sorry, we weren't able to open that loan for you. At least now we can take a look. There's a lot of different ways that, folks use that. And the other thing I love about it too is it can kind of catch people as they're on maybe this 30-month journey to improve their financial health. Like, yes, maybe they're at a 670 today, but they were at a 620 2 years ago. So they're really improving financial health. I think those are the type of consumers that credit unions want. They want to be the folks that step in with that first offer. So we always say, like, let the data help you do that heavy lifting, and kind of catch people who are on the upswing. And then the last thing I'll mention too is this concept of alternative data. So looking at things like payday lending data, or did they pay their utilities on time? This is, again, data that just didn't exist decades ago. We have it now. It's available in a lot of the different core systems and LOSs. And I just love for more credit unions to use that. When I started at TU, I think about 10% of the scores we were sending out to credit unions was trended. Wow. Fintechs, it was probably like 85%.
Yeah.
So your competitors are using this data. Now we're up to 40%, but I will say that's in total volume. So a lot of that is the top of the credit union market kind of driving up the average. So I think there's a lot of room for improvement with our small and mid-sized credit unions. But again, doesn't have to be like a huge analytical exercise. We're happy to help anyone who's looking to say yes more and score more people in their community.
Incredible. Well, that's a wonderful way for credit unions, to your point, to start to serve some of those underserved consumers that maybe they haven't historically thought that they could. And we'll put contact information in the post here for any of our viewers who want to be able to get in touch with you and TransUnion's team. All right, last question for you. I have a fun one. Are you back to business travel? I know you used to do a lot of business travel in sort of your pre-pandemic days, getting to talk to credit unions. So are you back? And if you are back, what did you miss? What did you not miss?
Oh, yeah. So I just got back on the road, I think last week.
Wow.
Did my first customer visit in 2 years. So fun. I guess I'll start with what I did not miss. I just forgot like how to travel. And I think there's kind of a science to like where you make your connections that I just totally forgot. When I got to this kind of smaller airport, my rental car was nowhere to be found. So I had to kind of take some public transportation. So that's like what I didn't miss, because there's like definitely some mental energy that's required to do that. But I think what I did miss, I think it's great that like you and I can connect right now and share this conversation. I think that's been awesome. But a lot of the customer engagements I've had, it's, we've got 30 minutes and we've got these 3 topics to hit, and we're going to try to do it in that time. And then it's on to the next one. Right. And, I just noticed when I was meeting in person with this, customer, we started talking after the meeting about the war for talent. And again, I don't think that's something that people would generally think of TU as having a perspective on. But you and I think, did some work in our careers around that topic specific to credit unions, kind of empowering young people. And so it was great to have those like off agenda type conversations and not be rushed about it. And even, again, I got in like a delay on my flight on the way home. And so the Wi-Fi wasn't working yet. And you're just kind of sitting there and the emails aren't coming in. And I really was thinking about, the customers talking about home equity loans. And, it gave me some ideas about some different data that I wanted to pull for them. And I think, again, you don't have that time in this more kind of virtual format that we have. So that was really exciting. So I'm very eager to get back out there, and it's nice to see some of the different speaking opportunities return, some of the different conferences and events, or even just meeting with customers like I did last week. So that's been very fun.
Incredible. I know we got the chance to travel a couple times so far this year. Cool. The conference endurance, I would say, is not there. Traveling, many of the forget how to socialize after a while, but it's so exciting to have it start to come back. Blake, last question for you today. It's a bonus question because we already hit our 3 questions, but the bonus question for you is any final thoughts or final asks that you would have of our audience today?
Yeah, I think like the first 2 questions I gave, different responses, but they have the same theme. Credit unions thrive for decades by kind of taking a second look or, saying yes when others just gave a hard no. And now that we're in this more digital age, again, I think there's data that can help credit unions do that in the online format and kind of keep that same difference that we had, again, for years in this model and apply it to a more digital world. So, look forward to talking with folks about that if they're interested. And thanks for the opportunity, Lauren, to spend a few minutes today. It's been really fun.
Yes, thank you, Blake. Hopefully we'll get to catch up in person again soon. And for everybody who is watching today, again, we're going to link to your article on CUInsight, but we'll also link to some contact information so folks can get in touch with you if they want to continue the conversation or learn more. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, Blake. It's really great getting to catch up, and hopefully we'll do it again soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks.